Hey guys, okay, so today I will be talking about almost ruining your blessing. Okay, and so today I am coming from First Chronicles 4:9. Okay, and so it reads, there was a man named Jabez who was more honorable than any of his brothers. His mother named him Jabez because his birth had been so painful. He was the one who prayed to the God of Israel, oh, that you would bless me and expand my territory. Please be with me in all that I do and keep me from all trouble and pain. And God granted him his request. This is in the NLT Bible. And so basically, what had happened was Jabez was born, and he was one of the few that actually prayed to God, and that's what they mean by God of Israel. And so when he prayed that God would bless him and bless his territory and expand his territory and to be with him in all the things that he does and to keep him from all trouble and pain. And that is exactly what God did, because Jabez asked and God gave. God gave him exactly what he asked for. Okay. And if he never would have asked, then he probably never would have received. Because sometimes, because you're afraid to act, you end up ruining your own blessing. So if Jabez was afraid to ask God to bless his territory or to be with him and to protect him, then he could have ended up ruining his blessing. He could have ended up ruining the expansion of his territory and the protection over his life. And sometimes that can relate to our lives, that sometimes we don't ask God for things because we feel a little scared, or we feel like, oh, well, I'm not sure if I really want God to handle this, or if I want God to be in this or whatever. But that's not how we should feel, because God doesn't give us the spirit of fear. That's not of God. God doesn't give us that. And so when we're praying and we're asking for things, or when thoughts like that come into our head, we should be like, wait, what? That's not right. God wants me to ask him these things. God wants me to do this. God wants me to do that. So I should do those things. And so I should ask so I can receive my blessing. And so you need to remember that because God doesn't give us the spirit of fear, there's no reason for you to be afraid. So why are you afraid? Why are you afraid to ask God of something if you know that God can give you what you're asking for? If you know that God will give you what you're asking for based off of your faith and according to his will, then there's no reason to be afraid. There's no reason to be afraid. Because if that thing is truly going to benefit you, then God will give it to you. If it's according to his plan, that will actually be good for you, because God's plan is only good for you. It's the only thing that is good for you. That's why he has his will in mind, because his will is his way of us actually prospering in life, of ourselves actually having the best outcomes of life. That's what his will is. That's what his plan is. So, again, why are you afraid? There's no reason to be afraid. For when God, when you ask God for something, then God is going to do that thing if it is according to his will. And if you set your mind on asking something of God or for God to do, then you best believe that God is going to do. There's no reason to be afraid. So be set free. Be set free. Don't ruin your blessing because you're too afraid to ask God for it, or to move, or you're too afraid to act upon what you want God to do. What? You're ruining your chances. Don't ruin your chances. Don't let this opportunity go to waste just because you're too afraid to take a step or too afraid to ask. Open up your mouth and ask God and see what God is going to do. It's as simple as that. It's really as easy as that. Just do it and watch God move. Ask God what you've been wanting to ask him. Trust me. Let that sink in. Ask God what you've been wanting to ask him. Ask him. Do it. because it's now or never, Life is very short. Time goes by very quickly. And if you have something in your heart that you've been wanting God to do, but you haven't asked him to do that thing, then why would he do it? You haven't brought the situation to him. And if you have already asked God for a certain situation, ask him again. Ask God exactly, what are you doing, God? Or like, Lord, please help me to see what your plan is in the situation. I need your help. I can't see exactly what you're doing right now, God, but help me to trust in you and believe you and know that you are doing exactly what you said you would do. Have that faith in him, believe in him, because that is the God that we serve. That is the God that loves us. And he is he is an on-time God. God is not going to abandon you. God is not going to leave you. God is not going to leave you stranded like some people will. Like most people will, actually. God's not like people. God's not like us. Okay, he doesn't falter, he doesn't waver, and he does not disappoint. So when you put your faith and when you put your trust in Jesus and in God, then watch the moon, so you don't almost ruin your blessing. Take that leap of faith. Take that step. Because it is time. You cannot just sit back on the back burner or on the fence and just expect for everything to be done for you. No. You have to take some chances. So if you want something, ask. Ask and ye shall receive. That's Bible. Yes, that's in the Bible. Ask and you shall receive. Keep on asking and you will receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking and the door will be open unto you. Okay, so do ask God and watch God move. Ask and it shall be given to you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. And that is Matthew 7:7. That's one of my favorite verses, because that means that what you say, God hears. And what you're seeking for, God helps you find. You shall find what you're seeking for. And what you are asking for, come on now. And the doors you want to be opened will be opened based off of your faith, based off on your faith and the things that God has planned for you. So don't ruin your chances. Don't ruin your blessings just because you're afraid to ask. Come on, take that step, take that chance. Okay? Because God is not going to leave you stranded. He's not. Okay, because if you start sinking in water, if you start falling because you're looking down at the fishes, God will tell you to just look at him. God will tell you to just look at him, and he'll come and grab you, and you'll be fine. You should, if you just keep your eyes on God and on Jesus, on the prize, the main goal here, living life on earth to get to heaven, then you don't have to worry. You don't have to stress, and you don't have to be all consumed and filled with such crazy. You don't have to worry about that type of stuff, because when you have that faith in God, and when you have that faith in Jesus, then that's what matters. So, yeah, that's my message today. Take that leap of faith and watch God move. And when you see him move, remember to thank him and remember what you prayed for. And don't forget what you prayed for either. And if it helps, write it down. That's what I do. I usually write most of my prayers down so that I can look back and be like, wow, I asked God for this and God moved. And he heard me. He heard my prayer. God heard me, So if you really let that sink in, God hears you and what you ask for. Nothing is too small. Nothing is too big. So even if you're asking for something like, God, help me with my math test today, help me to remember the little things that she taught me or he taught me today, God hears those prayers. I pray those prayers all the time, okay? So it really helps, okay? And I'm an A student, so like God is there, and God hears what you're asking for. So be there And if you're praying for help in your family or help with your family, or asking for union or unity in your family, that's not too big for God to handle either. That's not too big. Or if you're asking for God to change your mindset on a certain situation, then watch God move. Stop being afraid. Just ask. And if you feel like you haven't had the chance to ask, you've had the chance. There's been multiple chances. So take that chance now. And do not forget, because God is trying to do something in your life. But you need to be ready to actually ask for God to do the thing that He's trying to do in your life. So just ask. Ask and ye shall receive. Okay, because God knows what is best for you. And if God says no to whatever you're asking for, then it wasn't meant for you. It wasn't meant for your blessing. It wasn't a blessing. It would probably just cause you strife and tribulation and turmoil. So know whatever God answers to your prayers, that's what is best for you. So keep that in mind, because God isn't going to give you something that isn't good for you, unless He's trying to teach you something. Otherwise, then yeah, He's not going to do things that are going to harm you or anything like that. So trust and believe in God and take that step. Watch God move now. Watch, and you be blessed, and that's amazing. So glory be to God. Watch God do His thing. Yeah. Watch God do His thing. And so don't ruin your blessing when God is giving this opportunity to take a chance on Him and on your faith, because you believe in Him. And that's my message for today, guys. Okay, I'll see y'all on Sunday. All right, God bless. Bye.